Ooh, that's a dick. Ooh, that's fucking. Ooh, that's a dick. Ooh, that's fucking. Ooh, that's a dick. Ooh, that's fucking. But I'm more subtle than that.
Yo, what's up and welcome back to AT Vlogs. Now today we're just going to be talking about a few videos that I actually came across, talking about good ways to actually design your logo and bad ways you can actually design your logo. And we're actually going to also look at the drastic changes that certain companies have actually made when it comes to changing their logos. Some of the logos were actually changed to actually look better, and some of the logos were actually changed into somewhat type of questionable results. We're actually going to go all through that. Do not forget to like and subscribe.
This just might be the worst logo redesign in history. This iconic fashion brand spent millions of dollars to redesign their classic blue block serif logo in 2010 to this. After incredible public backlash, they ended up rolling it back to their previous logo after only 6 days, which is exactly why.
If it ain't broke, do not fix it. Why you fix it? Why you fix it? That's the crazy part about these companies. Sometimes, you know, they always think that they always have to keep changing. They always have to think that they have to like keep on rebranding and everything. But if a logo is good, a logo is dope. Just let people get used to the logo they actually widely recognize and stop tampering with it. You know, if a lot of people start recognizing your logo, that's a good thing. That means that, you know, wherever they see your brand, that they know that's your brand. So if you start messing with it, that's crazy. And even the logo that they actually changed to seemed lazy as hell. I don't even know what was actually going on. Even with that little square box on there on the logo, like what was that? That was no.
It's estimated that they spent $100 million working on this new brand.
Dude, they spent over 100 million on what? Bro, they spent over 100 million on that. They spent over 100 million on that rebranding. $100. These are the things that you may actually not be really aware of, and you're not really in the world or community around graphic designing, constantly looking at what companies actually do with their logos and stuff like that. But I will say that if you're interested in actually going in this business route and actually trying to create a really classic logo that is really going to be loved, you know, just like the classic Nike logo. You know, the one thing about Nike is that they really never messed with their logo from the get-go. You know, they just left it at that and they just ran with it, and now it's really a classic logo that pretty much anybody can.
As a designer, people come to me and they'll say, oh, I want like something like the Nike swoosh. They think that the Nike swoosh was the Nike swoosh the day it was drawn, but it was nothing the day it was drawn.
The company that birthed Nike commissioned a design student named Carolyn to draw some ideas, and the Nike founders didn't really like them.
They sort of said, oh, let's use that one.
It wasn't like an overnight success.
And then they started putting on designs of shoes. The shoes were good, and then the genius of Nike's marketing apparatus made us further associate that product not merely with performance athletic gear, but with the very idea of athletic achievement itself.
And that's how over a long time, a little mark means something big.
So yeah, man, you gotta just create a logo everybody can recognize, and don't try to mess with it. Even if you wanna mess with it, you know, in a way that's barely even noticeable, but can have a big impact in how you actually want your brand, your logo to look. Maybe you're like trying to bring it up to modern times and stuff like that. It really just has to be minuscule, tiny type of changes. It doesn't have to be something that actually overhauls the overall design and people can barely recognize it anymore.
This is one of the most confusing logo redesigns of 2022. In November of 2022, one of the largest American alcohol producers redesigned their logo from this to this. The most obvious and perhaps confusing part of the redesign is the addition of these two new geese on either side of the main mark. The reimagining and re-illustration of the main goose itself is actually fantastic, and I think it's a great update, but why does there need to be 3 of them now? Another key component of the rebrand is this updated typeface, which has quite a bit more character than the original. I only wonder if it's an improvement or just change for the sake of change. Overall, the redesign is really well done, and I think there are some really wonderful things that they did change. My biggest question is the addition of the 2 new geese. Does this mean they're going to be changing their name to Gray Geese? I don't think so. What are your thoughts on the new logo design?
My thoughts on it is that they gotta have a really good explanation as to why they actually added the 2 extra birds. They changed in the illustration for the birds and everything like that. Was pretty cool. You know, they added a lot more detail into it and stuff like that. It makes no sense, but hey man, whatever. Next,
This is one of the worst logo redesigns of all time. In 2009, this massive American food manufacturer redesigned their logo from this to this. The new logo design lasted for about 5 months before they redesigned it to this. And then after all that, they redesigned it yet again to this.
So I'm actually kind of like seeing a trend here with these videos, is that companies actually like to change their designs and stuff like that just to see what the actual public thinks of the new design, and then once they actually get public outreach, then they actually turn it back. It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Why are you changing it? And the worst part is that they don't even change it to something better. With like, you'd think with all the money they have, the power and influence that they got, they would actually get somebody who actually knows what they're actually doing when it comes to logo redesigning. But no, it actually looks like somebody actually just went to Canva and actually tried to redesign the logo, which is actually like good for them, because I'm pretty sure they made a lot of bread just because the company actually wanted to be dumb and actually fuck with things that were not supposed to be fucked with in the first place. That logo was actually good. Now through that whole 6 months where they were just changing to see what the public actually thinks, they actually reverted back to the logo that they were not supposed to touch in the first place. Why? This is actually for you as well. If you are starting a clothing brand or you already have a clothing brand, if your logo is good, if you don't have your customers actually complaining about your logo, literally don't have anybody saying any bad thing about it, and people actually copying your stuff, even if you're just selling basics with just a logo on it, and people are still copying that means that people actually like the logo. They have no problem with it, so you don't have to actually tamper with it or try to change it in any way.
Next is Yahoo's original logo. I'm sure you didn't think it could get much worse than this, but somehow they made it worse. The most embarrassing part was they came out with this YouTube video that was like a super mathematical explanation of like why the logo was good, and it's just like not how logos work. Now we have Radio Shack. It isn't so much the design that they changed, but they tried changing their name to The Shack, and it was very forced. Here's Airbnb's original logo, and I think some people are going to disagree with me on this one, but I always thought their new logo was like a little graphic. I think maybe it's like the color mixed with that shape. I don't know. Not one.
The first Airbnb logo was trash. The new logo, dope, nice. I like it. Picasso. Nah, I'm gonna have to disagree on this one. The latest Airbnb logo, it's a thumbs up for me. Let me know down in the comments what you actually think about it.
The original MySpace logo. In 2010, they tried so hard to make it come back, and just wasn't it. And last but not least, the original Tropicana packaging, and what is known as one of the most infamous rebrands of all time. Apparently they lost 20 million in sales the first month and then changed it back.
Damn, bruh. They lost how much? This is probably like the biggest example why you really never want to mess with something that's not really meant to be messed with, because you actually even risk the chances of losing so much. 20 million in sales, bro, just because you had to mess with the design you shouldn't have never messed with in the first place. 20 million.
So last week we looked at some of the most lovely and luxurious logos, but this week we're gonna look at the real stinkers. Now, it was hard to not just make this a list of, ooh, that's a dick, ooh, that's fucking, ooh, that's a dick, ooh, that's fucking, ooh, that's a dick, ooh, that's fucking. But I'm more subtle than that. It's a callback joke. And yes, I have recently started to write scripts for my videos, but only so I can knock that Johnny Wasabi kid off his throne. And speaking of Vermont, IHOP, the International House of Pankies. Now, we get it, okay? You made a face. It's no goodwill, but you made the face. Now here's the only issue, okay? If we take that face, and we separate it, and then we isolate it, and that's the fucking pap.
So yeah, man, there you have it. But also, keep in mind, this has a lesson in it, which is, stop tampering with your logos. Stop tampering with your logos, or they're gonna start looking like they got dicks on them, or they're gonna start looking like they're banging. So yeah, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what it is, man. It's your boy Consistent is the name of the game. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Peace.